talking about the same story of Joseph way before Muhammad's time.
Okay.
Muhammad comes with 98 verses of complete
I want to
contradiction.
touch on that 'cause it's interesting that you brought up specifically Surah Yusuf or the story of Joseph. So we believe that the Quran is a confirmation of the previous scriptures. It's detailed everywhere. However, we believe that the Quran comes and it corrects aspects of the previous scriptures that were changed by the hands of man. In Surah Al-Ma'idah, Surah 5, verse 15, we have detailed in the tafsir, it says that the Quran comes to correct the alterations and the changes and so on and so forth. And it's interesting that you brought up the story of Joseph because that's also an instance of the Quran correcting the Old Testament. So let me ask you, in the Old Testament where it talks about Joseph's story, is the sovereign in his time addressed as a pharaoh or a king in the Bible?
So you're talking about the anachronistic putting of Pharaoh's name, right? So the way you...
No. What I'm asking is, I'm just asking, is he addressed as a pharaoh or a king?
In the Torah?
Yes, in the Old Testament.
In the Old Testament, he is addressed as Pharaoh because we don't believe that, well, I don't know. Me personally, I believe Moses wrote the Torah, right? It was revealed to him, but I don't think that he compiled it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So
Yeah,
I think it's okay that later on someone wrote in the word Pharaoh. I know like it doesn't come until later. Do you know?
Wait, so if you believe that it's divinely, do you believe that the Torah is divinely inspired?
Yes.
Okay, so you believe that somebody can come in and add a word into the Torah and change it from king to pharaoh, and it can still be divinely
doesn't
inspired?
someone add the word crucified into your book?
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. But
Yeah.
don't you agree that if something is divine revelation, it can't be changed by the hands of man?
No.
So you believe? Wait, so you
Well, we
believe?
have different standards of how Scripture is revealed.
Okay, so you believe that something can be divine revelation and also simultaneously be corrupted? Because, and I do want to let you guys hear, so corruption of a text is defined as an addition, omission, or alteration done to said text by somebody that is not the author. So do you guys agree that a text can be corrupted and also simultaneously be from God?
What you're doing right now is you're equating the idea of particular versions or specific instances where someone changed a particular book that went through one portion of society, right? One particular, let's talk about the slave Bible. The problem with the Quran, of course, is we know that it has been burned, right?
I'm going to address that point.
Okay.
So the issue is you're saying that maybe one person just added the word Pharaoh in there, but the issue is even in the Dead Sea Scrolls it says Pharaoh. So it's clearly, according to your standard, original to the text that it says Pharaoh. So in Joseph's story, when this sovereign is addressed as Pharaoh, you're making the argument now that somebody added this in to make it more adaptable to the people in the time and so on and so forth, but it's original to the text that the sovereign in his time is called Pharaoh, which is historically inaccurate according to Egyptologists, which is why when she mentioned the Surah of Yusuf, the Quran comes and corrects this, and he calls the leader in the time a king instead of a pharaoh, because the term pharaoh, although it did exist, in the time of Joseph, it never denoted a ruler or a sovereign. It denoted the great house or the great temple. So it would have been incorrect for the Bible to address pharaoh.
However, let's talk about that because you're getting into semantics, right? We know that...
You can watch the full conversation on Dr. Daf Show on YouTube. Consider also following our sister Cora, the Tammy, on YouTube. Follow this account as well if you like content like this, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with you all.